Kerry, I'm from Key Largo, Florida. I'm new to real estate, so I've always kind of wanted to do it since I was in my early 20s. Always kind of had that little inkling wanting to do it, but never had the opportunity, or I wasn't at that point in my life. Finally got to the point where I'm at the age where I need to just step in, do it. I have a extracurricular hobby that, I'm like, okay, I need to have enough money to want to do that. And so I'm like, now I need to take the leap. It's time to do it and take the leap and get into real estate. I actually looked online at several different companies and I was down to 2 different ones, and I'm like, okay, because I watched all these videos and all these different people, and I'm kind of a dorky personality, so that's kind of what drew me to Cody, and I'm like, okay, I think that's the group and the guy for me. And so that's how I kind of came to my final decision. It was like the fun, dorky, just have fun, enjoy yourself, and that's kind of me and my personality, so I thought it would be a good fit. So my first experience with Clever is I did the mentorship program, so I've been doing that for a couple months now. Had a family medical issue that kind of put me out of everything for about 6 weeks. So I've really probably only been about 6 to 8 weeks of actually diving in, doing things with my mentor. Went to Summit, that was really neat, very inspirational. Got to know some other investors that kind of said, okay, people are really doing this and doing great at it, and then came to Labs, and Labs has been great. I wrote a contract today, so it's been really great. So I feel like I'm leaving here with the motivation and kind of now I really can go home and really put practices to work. Right, so with Labs, we've been doing phone calls yesterday, today. Our student leaders came in and were working with us, and they had some leads for us. So we did a lot of cold calling leads, and then we had a couple people that have responded to their mailings as well. Called one of those leads that have responded to our mailings, and he actually has several properties that he wants to sell. So talked to him on the phone, kind of got the ball rolling, sending the first contract to him this afternoon. So hopefully that will finalize, turn into something, and then possibly be some more contracts down the road with him. And we have a couple other people we have to follow back up with, which hopefully will lead into a couple more contracts as well. And our student leaders provided the leads for their areas that they already work in and are familiar with. So they were able to help us walking through the comps and all of that. So they were already knowledgeable in those areas. So whereas they talked and walked us through different steps, they had the knowledge of the area. So it kind of took that pressure off of us where we were learning, but had that support of someone that already kind of knew that area. And so it was kind of their leads, their mailing they did, and they did a postcard mailing, I believe. For the confidence, you see people actually that have been doing it. There's several student leaders here that, they went through the whole process and the whole program that we're going through. So I kind of came in with like, oh, I see it can be done, but can I do it? So it kind of gave me the confidence to be like, oh yeah, they're doing it. I see how they're doing it now. I see the processes. Where at home I was starting to do it, but this was like full on 2 days just doing it and being immersed with people that are doing it and being like, okay, this is how you do it. They're doing it. Need to kind of follow that path. And it also a support system going home. Not only do I have my mentor now, I also have my student leader that I can work with and work on deals with moving forward as well. So when I get home, I think I'm going to have more confidence being on the phone. Cody told me I got to go home, do 50 calls a day for 14 days. So I'm going to go home, definitely do that. But I think the confidence of just being in the environment is probably the biggest thing that I'm going home with. Where at home I was on the phones a little bit just starting, but I kind of was like, oh, am I saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing? And here being around all the other new people and knowing they kind of felt the same way, and knowing we all made mistakes on the phone, it didn't really matter. We still got to talk to people. Even when you made a mistake, the people still wanted to talk to us and still wanted to sell their homes to us. So I think that confidence is probably the biggest thing I'm walking home with. So for me, for getting into real estate, I want to do all aspects. I want to do wholesaling, fix and flips, and also buy and hold. So Summit was great. There were kind of all different aspects we touched on. With Ken Corsini, we definitely had more of the dealing with the fix and flip, and the actual different steps of going through, actually going into the home, what needs to be done, things to be aware of, like keep an eye out for this, be sure to budget enough, over budget some as well, because you don't, a lot of times you get in and you've budgeted one thing, you find things, so be kind of prepared and over budget and make sure you're doing that. So that was a great knowledge information. It's nice to see someone that's been doing it for a while and kind of the tips and tricks that they gave of how to handle a couple little flags and things that come up as you're going through with fix and flips. Cody's very energetic and very like get in, get it done. Where here at Labs, he told me to go specifically make so many calls a day. That was his big thing at Summit, was just go take action. So when I left Summit, I forced myself to do something every day, you know, take that action step. So I think Cody's very big on taking action, even if it's you're not comfortable doing it. Just a little bit each day helps you get, you know, moving forward. It's a practice, 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 practice. So I think his energy and that, you know, drive and just keep at it, keep practicing, was probably my biggest take home from Summit, was just to, you know, try to have a positive attitude, stay around positive people, and just keep at it. So for me, it took me 20 plus years to actually make the leap and finally be at that place where I'm like, I have to make a change in my life. I have to do it. Looked at a lot of different videos of a lot of different people, but you know, Clever's a family, and that was the one thing. I feel so supportive, and if I were to have to choose again, I would choose Clever all over again. There's just so much support and family. There isn't anybody that doesn't go above and beyond for you. You know you can call them whenever you need to call them, even if it's just to talk you off the ledge for a little bit or to help you walk through a deal. They're there, they're your family, you know, for the rest of your life going forward. So, and that's important to me, having that support and that family atmosphere.